Hello, beautiful soul. This week's energy is a bit different, okay? I usually tune into the collective and draw one card for the tarot inspiration for the week, but this week I was guided to read three. Two cards came out and I was guided to see what was underneath the deck, so I'm including that. And it was interesting because I was getting these visuals, this feeling of being stuck. There was this tar, something really sticky and stretchy beneath my feet, and it wasn't allowing me to move in the ways I wanted to move. And I was like, I know Venus is out of retrograde, that it just went direct. And what I got from all of this was that there's still a lot of movement that wants to happen. I got the cards, the Pilgrim reversed, Gnosis, and underneath the deck was the desert, okay? And I do factor the position and movement of the cards as they come out. So what was resounding here was this feeling of being bounded, of being boxed in, like there's some place to be, some place to go to find the truth, to find something that you've been looking for, whatever that is. Some deep-seated knowing of yourself, a feeling of stuckness, of not being able to get there, wherever there is, because of labels or boxes or finances. There's something in our experience right now that's not allowing us to enter into that space of exploration. And I'm getting that this feeling is not something that's very physical. Instead, I get the impression that a lot of it has to do with the stories we tell ourselves, the beliefs we have around our limitations, what those are, what our expectations are of what this call is drawing us to. I'll give you an example. If you feel called to go to the ocean, and the story that comes up, the story is, but what about the gas money? How far away is it? I don't have time for that. How do I make time for that, right? Instead of all of those stories, just sit with yourself and imagine yourself at the ocean and ask yourself, what wisdom, what medicine is here for me? And allow yourself to get swept up in your imaginary day at the beach. And trust that you are receiving everything you need without having to physically be in the space. You know, what beliefs are surfacing around what is possible for me to experience? Because if something is surfacing, then they are ready, it is ready to be released, because Gnosis is the center, the core, the isness of us. The beginning, the omega, that is Gnosis. This is some big energy beginning to surface this week, so we can have a higher vision, a higher perspective, so we get unstuck in our minds, because it's here in our minds that all our creation begins. I'm also working through these things, allowing myself to go on this ride, recognizing all of my resistance along the way, and it's quite a ride. You know, and again, I got to bring it back home to this. Underneath the deck, we have the desert. And it's funny because this card popped up in a reading I did a week ago. Actually, it was a little less than a week ago. And I shuffled the deck 3 times plus some and laughed to myself because I was like, if this card ends up coming out again, I will be too through. Well, it did. So, what's happening beneath the surface, right? This feeling, this belief, this energy of loneliness, of not feeling supported, of reaching out a hand and not having the support you feel you've needed. Not having the partner you feel you deserve. Of feeling tired and depleted of your energy to make things happen. What are you attached to? Is it a relationship? Or is it your idea of what the relationship should be? What does the desert represent for you? You know, when I look at the desert, I see it as being a very healing place. I experience it as being a very healing place. There's this beauty there. And yes, there's beauty in plushness. But there's also a lot of beauty offered in the desert. It's a very spiritual place. And if you haven't taken a trip there, I encourage you to do so, even if it's in your mind. Because there's an opportunity in what we perceive as loneliness to really get close to and intimate with ourselves. We really get to discern the voice of truth versus fiction, right? Truth versus falsehood. There's so many thoughts we have throughout our days, and we think they're all ours. We don't even realize who we are and how we pick up on other people's thoughts and wishes. And there are other beings, other entities that are in this experience with us. And we're picking up on all of those signals, all of these signals. So being in that space of the desert offers you the opportunity to take the pilgrimage within. Perhaps it's time to look at the reasons why you may be wanting to retreat at this point. What you're seeking. You know, is it something that's already there within you? Oh, the journey. So that is the message for this week. I send you blessings. Take care.